It's game time, we ain't playing with you. It's game time, it's game time, we ain't playing with you. That's how we ball for y'all.
What up, what up, what up, what up? You're rocking with Do Bob. Thanks for joining for episode 87. Round of applause. Yeah, just a reminder, everybody, don't forget to like, subscribe, and tune in. But let's get into some different topics that I've been seeing. First, I think I'm gonna start off with Australia. You know, they're doing something interesting that I don't think no other country stepped up and did. I don't know how that's gonna affect them moving on. They're actually banned in social media for kids who under 16. They're trying to say that, the parents, it's affecting the kids where it's come to their mental health, suicide, things like that. It's a bad start for kids growing up, and they just want to go ahead and just ban it. They think that's the main problem, and that's what's going to help them solve it. I don't. I mean, that's like kind of reversing the times. But the parents is happy about that situation. The kids is gonna struggle with that, but they're just happy that they don't have to be the bad guy to tell them like, hey, no more social media. When you're looking at social media, it's definitely a different way to interact, and it could be, they say, addicting. Growing up, social media wasn't that popular. We didn't really have that type of thing, but I think the kids day and age, I think they actually, it's a good and a bad when it comes to this thing. They could be filled with a lot of information looking on social media. If they're looking for something good, always keeping updated with what's going on, also different communications with their friends, also being more worldly. But then it's a dangerous tool for kids to get when they're at an early age. But I feel like kids grow up so quick. They just soak up so much information at an early age already. So 16 might be late in the game, but this is what they had to say.
Australia will become the first country in the world to ban under 16s from having social media accounts. With one law, we can protect Generation Alpha from being sucked into purgatory by predatory algorithms described by the man who created the feature as behavioural cocaine. Teenage addiction was not a bug, it was a design feature. And on 10 December, there are going to be withdrawal symptoms. Teenagers will be upset. Some will fight to get back on, some will manage to find their way around the tech and keep their accounts. But I truly believe the short-term discomfort will be worth the long-term benefits. This law is world leading and countries around the world are taking our lead. Denmark, Greece, Romania, France, New Zealand, Malaysia, the European Commission have all signalled intent to introduce a minimum age for social media. American social psychologist and author of the book The Anxious Generation, Jonathan Haidt, said, Australia's law, our law, is by far the most important single piece of legislation ever enacted on planet Earth to protect children in the internet age. 7 out of...
All I gotta say is, when it comes to United States, I don't. I'm on a. I think 16 is a little bit. I would say, damn, you can't really. I say bend it to maybe 12, 13, because you grow. Like I said, kids grow up so fast. You know, 16. You look back when you turn 16, you accomplish a lot of different things that in school, or just a different journey was growing up. So for them to ban social media, that's a little bit tough, but that's what they thinking. And I mean, is that a way that you think is to control your kid, or bring them back to like Stone Age reality. I don't. I think I don't. I see that's gonna be a lot of pushback on there. And then they say France and all of them just gonna join in on this. I think 16. I mean, 16. Like I said, grew up very fast. So a lot of things you done until you got 16. So I can't even imagine what the new generation is gonna act upon this. I don't. They might rally. Six to kids 15 might protest against this. They might put something together and protest this, but the parents, I'm sure they're on board. They're like, it's probably a big distraction. It's bad for their mental health. But what would they replace without having social media? Like they gotta kind of just figure something out. They're gonna go outside and play again. I don't know, you know. But we'll see how that works. We'll see how that works and see if they implement this to other, countries. And but I don't think United States ain't for it. I know United States ain't for that. That's like a new world order. New world order. But we'll see. We'll pay attention. But what I've been still paying attention, man. I still been paying attention to the Three Eye Atlas thing. And then also just all the theories people just talking about UFOs. An interesting theory came up where they said it was the bubble theory. They recently talked about some bubble theory. I never really heard of it. Then I was like, hey, let's dive down the rabbit hole. Let's dive down the rabbit hole. Um, 'Cause what they're kind of just saying about the force field, time traveling. It's a different dimension. These are the reason why we can't see these UFOs because they have like a force field and they're not even in the right time zone. So it might look like they're going fast, but they slowing down. It's you know I feel like with this technology that is going on, all the AI, all everything is all new to us, and they're even saying what the object that is in the air that then thing been around for maybe for billions of years. The material on that thing nobody never seen, nobody never heard of. They talking about the different directions where usually past Jupiter, usually a comet goes a certain direction. This thing is not using the same patterns as a comet. Is going straight. You know, it, so I think there's other technology that we haven't tapped in because just AI alone, nobody ever thought AI would even be a thing. I mean, yes, it's been a thing in movies. It's been a thing in a fictional way, but now this thing might be real. So there's different technology that we haven't experienced, and so when people talk about these things, I'm like, time traveling could be other dimensions that we haven't even tapped in could be. So when he was talking about it, it caught my attention.
Amount of energy, and they're essentially warping space-time, which sounds like something out of a science fiction movie. I understand that.
Right.
But they are saying what these scientists reveal is that they are warping space-time in a localized area, and they're creating a bubble around the craft. And essentially, the simplest way to say it is that bubble creates a barrier between the environment the craft is in, and our environment. So
Yes.
the laws that define what you can do, with what physics allows you to do in our environment are no longer applicable, right? So what happens in that bubble is completely different than what happens outside the bubble. So they might be moving along, having a Sunday stroll, like a leisurely flight, right? And to us, it looks like they're going at these impossible speeds. It explains a significant amount of energy, and they're essentially warping.
Hey, I think what it says, what end of December or something around they talking about, where we might be able to really get a bird eyes view of what's really out there. But hey, a lot of things is drumming back up. A lot of things, theories is drumming up saying like, why do we never see these things? Because it's never detected in our radar. It's not in our time zone. That's kind of crazy. Hey, these are the things that they're that people are diving into and coming up with. And I'm down the rabbit hole. I'm down. I'm right in. I'm right there. I'm right there with you, man. I'm right there with you. It's too much things out there. And the way things, the technology is advancing, it's gotta have some other type of technology that we haven't ever experienced, ever seen, and that's why other things happen that we can't explain. Um, but this 3i Atlas, it's definitely people still talking about it, and a lot of answers are still on talked about because this is definitely something that we never seen before. So everybody's still paying attention. Like, what else is gonna do? What is this thing doing? What can we learn from it? What materials can we look at and see? Who's staring this thing? Somebody staring it, or is it staring this by itself? There's a lot of questions. But nobody's believing that comment talk. Comment talk's a wrap. But we'll pay attention. We'll see. Yo, everybody looked at Terminator and thought that the robots taking over the world and all these things like that. But I look at seeing the CEO sell the buy hybrid robot. Uh, they the, the buy hybrid robot I seen was kind of even crazier. But the fact that now we have these AI, we talk about different robots and things like that. Now they have something that's like a lab growing tissue. Talk something a little bit about it before, but this what demonstration when I see it was like they're building lab grown tissues from like human cells. It look like they're just making up, and it's showing how the body is forming the tissues, but you can dissect it. It still can be make looks like it's live. Like I'm sure there's some type of creature that somebody I'm convinced now there's some type of creatures like some in some laboratory that they created like a whole human creature. And now I'm like, oh, if they throw AI on top of that, like is gonna be intelligent. So when I seen this, I was like, oh, this is crazy. This is crazy.
We're looking at Oscar, the first human modular prototype that is able to live in various setups. Connect the brain to the heart modules to activate the blood circulation. Now, the lung is going to start breathing. You can see both organs are now collaborating.
It's like they made a lung. So you can see it start
I can have a
breathing.
kidney
You see it
module.
looking like it's a heartbeat.
And if I add a limb module,
So you put together a limb.
they start actuating
And
the
it's looking
organism
like
to
a
move.
skin is
Now it's
looking.
looking for the optimum
Then you
temperature,
said
which
it
is
can move. It's
37
moving.
degrees. If I add another limb,
They added another limb. And it
Oscar
was
will recognize
moving
it
his arm.
and beneficiate from new
It
possibilities.
just tells you just what the scientists, what they have in different laboratories that people haven't even seen. That was like, what? What? So it's like, okay, yeah, they're taking it upon themselves, like they're not even like dealing with like robots no more. They want like a human cell, skin, tissue robot. They starting to develop these things. I don't know. Because if you look at if a robots can mass produce themselves, I think they're gonna mass produce themselves. So we're not even talking about even humans no more. It's definitely going to be something like a creation of a monster that the world hasn't seen. So I just think they're going to be testing these things out in different labs. It's probably already tested out in certain laboratories, and we just don't even know it. We just don't even know it yet. You know, it's gonna be a lot of it's gonna be a lot of things that with this new technology, it's gonna form a lot of things. And with AI, that's definitely changing the game. But the fact that these scientists are still doing these type of stuff is just it's scary, scary. But another CEO in China, basically calling like the T 800. They had a demonstration where he was kicking the CEO and not like a light kick. It was like a forceful kick. Only thing I could think of is like Terminator. When I look at this stuff, see, it definitely be used for combat. You know, I tell you, the certain movies they always talked about. I see these things being mass produced for combat, but it's like it's always there. It's always the good and bad. There's definitely they're having fun now, just demonstrating kicking the CEO, but eventually it's gonna definitely be used for combat, or even they develop movies when they start to mass produce all these robots. There's gonna be people trying to trick it to do other things where it's like you're gonna be your bodyguard, maybe, you know. 'Cause you see how they use it in different China country, how they building these mass robots and having them equipped with different weapons. So, but I was like, oh, that T 800 definitely looks like a Terminator. I see people talking about, yeah, that definitely reminds you of Terminator. Ooh. Mm-mm-mm. Well, we'll all be paying attention to that when you, when, when the time comes that the robots are all here, mass producing, just walking around. I mean, it's definitely going. I mean, it's definitely going to be. I always say 5 to 10 years. It's definitely going to look like a different world. And then it's going to evolve to something else. But we gotta just see how the world is gonna shape and how it's gonna change and be prepared for these type of things. But enough of all the technology stuff. Everybody keeps talking about that. The 50 Cent Netflix documentary of Diddy. I definitely got a chance to watch that. Yeah, I would say that it's definitely written or even having the different chapters when he was younger to what made him maybe transform and become the way he is now. So it definitely told a good story. Um, but the things, man, the things in there, it always gonna paint a bad picture. You know, it's just always gonna paint a bad picture. But he definitely did a good job. I'll say that. Definitely good job putting that in. It's #1 on Netflix. So everybody's definitely tuned in watching it and just hearing another version of Diddy, another version of Diddy. Yikes, man. These things it just I guess like I told always say, 50 has this agenda, but it looks like he's definitely on a business side of making money off this thing. And then a lot of the footage that he definitely had was like damn near thought maybe Diddy was working with 50. Like, how did you get this type of material? There's a lot of different things that nobody haven't seen before. Hey, allegedly all these rumors were um talked about, and he just put it into a story. When it came to the from the beginning, he went back how he was just a regular intern, and he still you seen the hustle in Diddy and 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 just having money at an early age, and just basically having that power finally getting that power where nobody was telling him no. He had the world in his hand. You could do whatever you want, and sometimes when you have that, you don't have the self control or even the discipline, or you're gonna take advantage of certain things. So, but it's a whole different uh story. 'Cause that's damn near what 30 years. How you been running the game? Like he's been doing this for a while. So, but for for you know for him to just it's like you can't even believe some of the stuff that went on in there. It's just too much. It's just too much sometimes. But from just everything, man. It's the everything. From the way he just didn't pay certain people. We already know how that happened. But the Little Rod thing was crazy. And then Little Rod, even his story, like you can't even. It's like basically you just coming out because Diddy didn't want to pay you. Like you didn't mind waking up next to him. Like that was not a problem. The problem was the problem was you just didn't get your money, and when you don't get your money now, it's like yeah. But for Diddy just to have these conversations like, hey, hey Playboy, be cool, be cool. You don't get it, da da da. I think they had some other different type of relationship. But it's just crazy, crazy, crazy. But that's between them two. Or now he want to actually say who else he works on, who else do you want to see another documentary. So that's what 50. That's Ali. That's what he's doing. He's putting things together, um, good or bad. Probably. It doesn't always have to be that crazy, but it's always just showing his ability to take up on storylines and put a good team together and go ahead and execute. So yeah, so everybody definitely checking out that. Talked about that. But talking about Netflix, they was actually requiring to buy Warner Brothers. You know, but now it's getting a little bit pushed back from that because they're saying that they control Warner Brothers. I mean, they're gonna have definitely the catalog's gonna be crazy, but now people are concerned of having too much of control because it happened. Those are like the top platforms. So if you combine them now, would the media change? Is it going to be one left ring that you actually promote? Because like they said, CNN is definitely a part of that. And there's other major outlets that can be controlled. So just giving one person that power. But then but seeing that they mentioned Trump. Trump was like he stepped in and now he wants to be the like the overseer of this. He's saying, "Oh, let me look into this." And then the people like, "Well, why is Trump even involved in this? Is this even illegal? Like, why are they going to answer to him?" So it just showed me like, damn, I didn't know the president had a lot of this power because like, ain't no other president been involved into no other deals. Ain't no other. You never hear about any other president interfering in any of this type of things. But it just shows you what kind of power Donald Trump has, or even influence. That that he's like, yeah, kind of. I met with, I talked to him. I talked to the CEO. Of Netflix, and we had a conversation. But then now it's showing that Paramount was like, because they try to buy Warner Brothers, but they got denied. But now they're saying they're back. They're doing like a hostage takeover because they about to go right to the shareholders, and try to plead their case, because they're saying, hey, I know you deny me, but let's talk to the shareholders. Are they okay with this deal? Do they mind for them to have all this power? Do they have have all this control? So that's what they was talking about here.
Its streaming and studio assets to Netflix in a deal valued at nearly $83 billion. This is a major development as it sets the stage for one of the most consequential mergers in Hollywood history. If approved by federal regulators, this agreement would unite the world's largest streaming platform with the more than 100-year-old film studio, causing a major shakeup in the media landscape. This comes after the company had multiple bidders, including Paramount, Skydance, and NBC's parent company, Comcast. But it is not a done deal quite yet. It still needs approval from federal regulators.
Hey. We're gonna see who's gonna actually. We're gonna see who's gonna actually win the bid. But I mean, that'd definitely be a dominant situation. You know, put $82 million on the table, but Paramount's like, we'll give you a certain amount of the share. That's worth more than that from what the share is now. So that's why they're going to the shareholders.
I kind of look, but I'm trying to pull the curtain.
I'm trying to pull the curtains back. I'm like, why is this deal so
important?
And then why is Donald Trump jumping in it? Because
I feel like it's definitely going to be.
I feel like it's definitely going to be kind of just what's going to be on TV. Like it's going to like control a lot of things. It's like you can own
A good part of
streaming. You definitely can get in the minds of others to control other things
good or bad.
when it's come to good or
I
bad.
think that's what's the big.
So I think that's what's the big discussion about it.
That's really what the big.
That's really what the big
thing here,
interest.
but we'll see. We'll see.
We'll see if
The shareholder listens to
the shareholder listens to Paramount. I mean,
I don't know. You know, I think.
I don't know. You know, I think
Netflix has the money
has the money and they want to.
And
Warner Brothers ready to sell it. I don't see them not selling it. But
when it comes to now,
Donald Trump putting his footprint on it,
that's kind of funny.
that's kind of funny.
Because Donald Trump the same person who's trying.
Donald Trump, the same person who's trying to just run for president. Like now he has a problem with the deal. I don't see why.
Hey, like I said,
It got to be something else behind it.
it's turning into politics.
You know, it looks like it's turning into
We'll
politics.
pay attention to that and see what
News I seen the streamers. They had the streamers award, but it was looking kind of had a lot of awkward moments in this one. You know that it was a standout. You know, it's a whole bunch of side dissing. I mean, first of all, whoever the two was hosting it was like they wasn't even really funny when they was trying to come at certain people. So that was the issue they was talking about.
Or, as Aiden Ross would call it, his idea. I want to congratulate Kai for reaching over 1 million subs. Incredible.
A lot of awkward moments.
He just barely beat out Queso, who could only eat 900,000 subs. Yeah.
He wasn't even
Hassan
laughing. It
is
wasn't even
here.
funny.
Is that a vibration remote in your pocket, or are you just excited to be here?
I'll put it on you later.
Is that a threat or like a?
Hello. Real quick, y'all. I know
India Love
Breakout
pulled the
Streamer
Kanye.
of the
They say
Year
they won't
went
pull the
to
Kanye, but
Breakout Streamer of the Year
that's
went
Kanye
to Adapt.
in their
And
world.
congratulations, and we respect you for what you did. But Rakai should have won Breakout Streamer of the Year and DDG. I don't care what y'all say. Shout out Rakai, shout out. Boom, 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 boom.
He was bullied. Oh, yeah. They had to kick out.
Kai Cenat. This year, as everyone knows, you broke the record for the most expensive haircut and the least educational university. So congratulations to you.
University.
Oh, and also, congrats on your new documentary with 50 Cent. That was
That was terrible. That was terrible with that. I don't know why she go for it. I mean, yeah, he cut his hair, but the way she landed that, it was like he looked at her like, come on, you know. And even his boy Ty, he's kind of like sticked up, was like, you're gonna at least be, if you at least gonna grab the mic, at least be funny, you know. She definitely was off, made everything feel awkward. It was a lot of coming at the whole squad of Kai. So, but congratulations to Kai. He definitely racked up over there. He got a bunch of awards. He got the collaboration with LeBron. He got the Chatter Award. I think with like 4 or 5 awards. So they definitely looking at Kai still be like the LeBron of streamers. And then you have Speed. He actually got the streamer award, best streamer of the year award, back to back. So it's definitely they still have it was you know everybody's still being fully evolved into the streamer thing, and to the point they all making money, making awards. They just feel like they just want to make sure that everything in that community try to stay together and then don't have hate on each other. But that was a little awkward. It had definitely some crazy awkward moments. Then Kai gave a great speech because he kind of just said he had to just disappear a little bit for his mental health. He's normal too. He's a human being. So streaming months on months, I mean that definitely could take a toll to your mental health and your body. So and then he just said, streaming is definitely like a different avenue to start, but he could take it otherwhere. So he's planning to have his own clothing line. He's also planning to look at different movies, even probably direct, act. So he definitely wants to just branch off to other things when it comes to streaming. He's just and I mean, if you're looking at it, looking at a blueprint, he's like the blueprint of other streamers wanting to get to his level and where things can lead other ways. You can focus on other things by still doing streaming. So kudos to him. Kudos to everybody who won it, and congratulations for them. Let's get into some motivation. I need a motivation. So this one says, "Don't lose patience." Oh, sorry. This one says, "To lose patience is to lose the battle." Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's definitely a battle. So you definitely gotta stay patient. So I was like, all right, yeah. And everything, it's just, staying patient. They said, this is not it's not a fight. It's a battle. So when it's a battle, it's gotta be different timing. Gotta be different strategies. Gotta be different ways that you gotta try to win the battle. You know, so just staying patient, being patient. If you look at the war, it didn't last in a day or two. So you gotta stay patient. So that's what I got when I heard that. Um, yeah, I think that's what I got for everybody today. So don't forget to like, subscribe. Still check out the next episode, and also check out the music. Still got the Born to Fail. Still got Skyrise. Still got Savage, and look out for some more music on the way. So definitely go download, upload, all that good stuff when you get a chance. But you've been rocking with you, Bob. Round of applause for everybody who's been watching. And then check me out for the next time. So in the meantime, between times, peace.
I love it. You guys are so great.